There used to be a time when you could smoke in the office. There used to be a time when you could just work 9 to 5. And there used to be a time when if a company had a job that it wanted to fill, it would put up the job posting, and one by one, candidates and prospects would show up to this company and they would try to convince the company why they should work there. But look at the world that we live in today. You don't smoke in the office. You don't work 9 to 5 anymore. And today, when your company has a job that it wants to fill, now the employees, the prospects, they're asking you the questions. They want to know, what is the culture like? They want to know, is there going to be learning and growth? They want to know, am I going to be mentored? They want to know, am I going to have a sense of purpose and meaning and impact? They're asking you the questions. And what that means is that organizations have to shift from creating an environment where they assume that people need to be there to creating an environment where employees want to be there. And that shift from need to want is a big part of what employee experience is all about. So we are now at that point where we are fundamentally changing what it means to work, what it means to be an employee, what it means to be a leader inside of an organization. So what is the big difference, again, between employee engagement and experience? Employee engagement inside a lot of organizations has become this idea of you're changing the paint on your car. You're changing the rims. You're making it look beautiful, but you're not actually changing the engine of the car. Employee experience is changing the engine, not just focusing on the paint and the tires and all the external things on your car. It's how do you change the core workplace practices of your company around your people? That is what employee experience is. And when your organization invests in employee experience, that's when you start to see the business value. That's when you start to see the ROI. That's when you start to see the business outcomes. So it starts with a reason for being. A reason for being is kind of like your why. Why do you do what you do? What does your company stand for? Then you focus on employee experience. When you create a great experience for your employees, then your employees become engaged. When your employees become engaged, that is when you start to see the business value, the ROI. Now, when I was doing research on employee experience, I looked at 252 companies around the world. I was really interested in, from these 252 companies around the world, how many of them are really doing an amazing job when it comes to employee experience. And what I found after doing all this research is that only 6% of companies around the world do an amazing job when it comes to employee experience. Only 6%. Most companies are either doing nothing or they're just doing very little. So there's a lot of opportunity for companies around the world to really step up and put employee experience at the center of what it is they do. Because most companies around the world are not doing enough. They're not investing in this. They're not thinking about this. Now, you might be wondering, well, what's the ROI of investing in employee experience? Why should my company do it? Why should I, as an employee, care about it? And so I looked at the ROI in a few different areas. The first thing that I looked at was these companies that invest in employee experience, do they appear on other best of lists more often? So best of list is companies with most satisfaction, companies that have best customer service, companies that has best innovation. And I found that the companies that invest in employee experience also appear on these other lists more times as often. The next thing that I looked at was actual ROI. Companies that invest in employee experience have a higher average profit, higher average revenue, a higher average revenue and profit per employee. The companies are also on average 24% smaller. So they're doing more with less. I also looked at stock price performance, and companies that invest in employee experience also have far higher stock price performance when compared to those that don't prioritize and invest in employee experience. So the ROI there is real.